Okay, good morning. For today's lecture, we're going to have the iteration or looping structure. Okay, for looping structures on your VB.NET, okay, we have actually how many structures? One, two, three, four, five, six. Lahat sila. So we have 6 ways on how to do your looping on the VB.NET. Okay. But first, I'll discuss to you the post-test and pre-test. Okay. So under looping or iteration, okay, we we say it's looping or iteration because it continuously execute the program, okay, until it meets a certain condition. Let's say, for example, if, there are structures that until it meets false or until the condition is false, okay, it ends the program. Or sometimes until the condition is true, it ends the program. Okay, so looping, bumabalik. It's on a loop. Okay? Depends on the condition that is given. Okay. We have what we call a pre-test. Okay. Pre-test means you test first. Okay. You test first, then execute. Okay. And then we also have the post-test. Post-test naman, execute once. Okay, then test. Okay, so that's the meaning of pre-test and post-test. Okay, one example or one structure for the looping in the in VB.NET, actually in even other programming languages, the very common structure is the while loop. Okay. For while loop, okay, we need to have the while. This is the syntax for the while loop, ah. So, while, and then parenthesis, we have the condition, okay, and then statement inside or in between that one, and then we need to have the change of state. Okay, an example of change of state is, for example, I have a variable x, x equals x plus 1, or you can have it as x plus plus. So that's the change of state. Okay, this one is for the while. Okay, um while having this on our notepad, I want to test it on our Visual Studio. Okay, so just open the Visual Studio. Need to create a project. So in one form, I'm going to demonstrate all of the 6 structures. So programming 2, and then we'll have the looping. Okay, simple looping lang. Simple looping. Create. Okay. For this project, I'm just going to use a button, and I'm going to introduce to you a rich text box. So we will have a rich text box. Okay, this one is different from, actually it's almost the same from text box, but this one, it, it automatically adds a scroll button on it. So this one is a rich text box. Okay. So for the button, we'll have the text while, and then for the name, btn while. I'm not going to change this one. It's going to be rich text box 1. So let's have your while condition, and then change of state. Okay. So for the while, let's have initialize first our variable. So dim, let's say for example a as integer. Okay. So you initialize the integer as 1. Okay, that's the start of the loop. And then we have while, for example, a until it reaches 5. So we have lesser than or equal to 5. Okay. And then we'll have the rich text box 1 that append text, and then we'll have the variable a. Okay, and then a change of state, a equals a plus 1. Okay, so let's test. Okay, as you can see, okay, all of my outputs are in one line. We need to have a new line or a command for the new line. So we'll add end v b c r l f there. Okay, for the new line. So every time it enters this, or it reads this code, it displays the value of the A, and then proceeds to a new line, and then change the state of the variable. And if it's still true, it will then again to this, go again to this, or execute again this command, change of state again, if it's still true. So it's a loop. So this one is a simple while statement. Okay. As you can see, it's under, so the while statement, this one, the while statement is a pre-post because it tested it first and then executed the statements. Okay. Another example or another structure is the do while. Okay. So for the syntax, we have do while and then the condition, and then we also have statement, a change of state, and at the last we have loop. While here we have end while. Okay. So do while, condition, statement, change of state, and the loop. Okay. So we'll have to test this one here beside our while. So I'll insert a button and also a rich text box. Okay. Same. Change the name of or the text of my button. Let's name this as do while. And then the name btn do while. There. So codes dim, let's say for example, I'll just use other variables. So as integer is equals initialize. Don't forget to initialize. Okay. And then we have do while, and then our condition b is lesser than or equal to 5. Okay. And then same reach text box, but it's 2 that append text b and vbcrlf. And then the change of state, let's try b plus plus. Okay. um that's that it does not support. Okay, so we'll have b equals b plus 1. Okay, running. Let's say for example you forgot to initialize. There. Okay, it starts with 0. Okay, so for example you've initialized but you forgot the change of state. There, it will be continuous loop because the variable does not change the value, so it does not actually wait lang na, that does not actually meet yung requirement na b is lesser than or equal to 5 because the 1 will be a continuous 1. Okay, hindi siya napapalitan. So again, do while loop is also a pre-test because it tested it first and then execute. Okay. So another is what we have, do and then statement and then change of state and then loop while condition. As you can see, the condition is in the lower part or dun sa dulo na siya. Okay, let's test this one. So we have our rich text box again. And then we'll have a button. Okay, let's have do while loop. Okay, and then for the name, btn do while loop. Okay, so the syntax are, don't forget to initialize. So dm, another variable. Actually, you can have same variable as integer is equals to 1. And then we have do and then reach text box reach text box 3 that append text is equals to sorry, parenthesis c and vbclf c is equals to c plus 1. Okay, and then don't forget to place the while for the condition. This one will have, let's say for example, lesser than or equal to 5. Let's test. There, same. Okay, ma'am, it's the same. Why is it called a post test? This, let's say for example, okay, let's say for example we initialized it, diba? It's supposed to be supposed to start at 1 and then end at 5. Let's say, for example, I started it at 6. Okay? So, let's test the while, the do while, and the do while loop. Look, it executed the 6. Okay? It's a post test because it will execute once and then will test. So, in here, as you can see, it initializes the variable c as 6. Okay? And then, it executed the statement. It printed or it displayed 6 as the a value of c, and then add another one. So the value of the c turned into 7, and then 7 lesser than or equal to 5, so it's false. That's why it ended the loop. Okay. For this one, let's say for example, I'll also change this one to 6. Okay. This one is a pre-test. This one is a post-test. Okay. So do while, no, no result. Do while loop, result. Why? Because it tested it first here. So 6 lesser than or equal to 5, it's false. That's why it did not execute anything. Hmm? Wait. Okay. So 1 and 1. And then another one. So we have how many? 1, 2, 3. So we still got 3 more. Okay. For the fourth structure, so we have do until, and then we have the condition. Okay. Statement, change of state, and then the loop. Okay. For this one, it's also a pretest, but uh, the condition, you need to actually change the condition kasi it's do until. So do until, uh, I'll just give you an example here. Okay. So let's have a button. Okay. And a rich text box. Okay. So the button, let's name the button do until. And then btn do until. Okay. So let's have dim. Let's try same variable c as integer is equals to 1. Then we'll have the do until condition. So for the condition, we'll have C greater than 5. Okay? And then we'll have reach text box that append text C and VBCRLF C is equals to C plus 1. Let's try. This is C. This is also C. As you can see, they're the same. I use same variable. Okay. But, ma'am, how is it possible? Because as you can see again, this one, the variable is for this button only. Okay? This one is for this button only. Okay? So, you can actually use same variables because this one is only declared here. It's not a public variable. Okay? So, for this one, okay, this is the condition. Okay. While the condition is false, it executes the program. Okay. While the others are while the condition is true. This one is while the condition is false. It executes the statement. Okay. So this one is also a pretest because it tests first the condition and then displays or executes. Okay. Fifth structure is the do loop until. Do loop, sorry, do, and then statement, change of state, and then loop until. Okay, a condition. There. So, let's try. So this one is do loop until. So btn do loop until. Okay, so reach text box, same. Let's say for example, a as integer is equals to 1, do, and then reach text box 5, that append text a and vbcrlf. A is equals to a plus 1, and then loop until same a greater than 5. So there, all the same results. Okay, so again, this is a post test. Okay, it executed it first and then tested it. Last structure is the for. So for, and then we have condition. Condition. We also have here the change of state. And then we have the statement, and then next for the last part. So for condition, change of state, statement in the next. Okay, for this one, so copy, paste, going to use the for. btn4. So we have even the initialization will be done within the same line as 4. So we have, for example, 4 a as integer, okay, is equals to 1 to 5, and then rich text box 6 dot append text a and vbcrlf there. So initialization and the end of the loop and the statement. And syempre don't forget the data type. So while, do while, do while loop, do loop until, and the for. All same results. Okay. So we have all same results, but as you can see, we have pre-test and post-test. We also have the change in your condition. Let's say, for example, until it meets true, until it's true, it ends, or until it meets, or until the condition it falls, it ends the loop. So you have different structures of your looping, so you can actually use any of that. Okay, all can be used for looping.